What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back in Planet Coaster in the one, the only Time City. This is one of the most exciting episodes. You want to know why? Because we are starting on the Sci-Fi section, the final section of the park. We have begun construction. So, you're not going to see anything too spectacular in this episode. Fair warning, we're just getting kind of the basis and the start of this section of the park. So I get started on the monorail station for the Sci-Fi section. There's not too much here that is fancy because I don't end up really finishing it. It doesn't get to a finished state, I'll put it that way. But whoops, sorry about that big thump. But anyways, we have I have a big idea of where I want this to go, and this is probably going to be the most thrilling area of the park. It's going to have the most thrill rides. It's going to have probably the most rides out of all these sections in the park. It's going to include a dark ride sort of ride, and then it's also going to include a outdoor roller coaster and multiple flat thrill rides as well that will be included in this section. So we're going to be doing a lot of sci-fi-ish stuff, as you could say. But the thing is about this section is what makes it a little bit easier than the past sections, you know, like when it comes to Jurassic and Roman, there's a set like architecture I have to go by. With Sci-Fi, with this, I can create any kind of stuff I want that I think could be, plausible in the future. I don't know, it's going to be the Sci-Fi. We're talking hundreds of years down the line for, anyways, and I want it to have that certain look, and I don't know much about if I'm liking the, monorail station just yet. I might update it a little bit later on. As of right now, I'm kind of like with it. I'm going to try and roll with it as much as I can. We're going to try and do whatever we can to make it look fantastic. But as of right now, I just kind of went with it and moved on for right now. And we'll work on it more and more as we go along down the line. So, what is to come later with this this section of the park, you might ask, because are we almost completely done with the park? The answer is absolutely not. We have a lot to still accomplish with the park. A lot of the sections still have a lot of stuff that need to be done, and not just final details, just like completely needs, to be finished. There's a lot of sections and areas within the sections that I haven't even done yet. So there's a lot to be done, and I wanted to get started on this section as soon as possible because the dark ride is going to take up quite a bit of my time. Now, with that being said, that's why I wanted to get it done, or get it going. With that being said, by no means I want anyone to think that I'm rushing any sort of section, because I still have a lot to do in the Roman section too. There's a lot of stuff to do in each section. We're going to be going back to every single one of them and getting everything done. Even the entrance area still has its spots that need some work, and this is probably going to be one of the bigger sections, if not the biggest section in the park as well. We have a lot of space to work with. This building right here actually is going to be the entrance of the dark ride. It's going to have a very immersive queue, and it's going to actually be built underneath the terrain, and I'm going to make it look like it's inside the building. So that's going to be one kind of neat feature as well. And then our first thrill ride that goes in here is the Ascendance. It is the launch tower that we're going to be incorporating into our park, and it is actually it's the taller tower, and we're going to make some really cool amazing theming around it, because it's going to start out inside a building and it's going to launch you outside the building. Kind of think like, Firefall-esque, except with more theming, I guess. Firefall from Silver City, which is an 80-foot tall launch tower. This one is a much taller one. I think it's like 130 some odd feet tall, somewhere around that range. I'm using a lot of the diner pieces as well, because I feel like they have a really good little futuristic feel to them. So this building actually is going to be kind of like a tower, and then I was like, wait a minute, what if I put some cool looking windows, or the windows pieces throughout there? So I changed my mind, decided to put those in there, and this is going to be one one of those flat rides that's going to take me some time to get kind of right as well, because I had to make a whole queue line section that is also going to be indoors and just have some really awesome theming. So I can't wait to figure out all the theming elements that are going to be going into this section of the park. There's going to be a lot of neon lights. There's going to be a lot of, really cool lighting systems. This is going to be probably the best place to be during the nighttime of the operating times during the park opening. So you're going to want to be here when it's dark. This is the section you want to be in. And this is probably going to be the thrill seekers' favorite area of the park, because again, like I said, it's probably going to have the most thrill rides. It's not really going to have many gentle rides. It's going to have a lot of those thrilling attractions. I will say probably the coaster and dark ride will be probably some of the most thrilling rides inside the park as well, because we have Raptor Run. It's a family launch coaster. We have Salvaged, which is a GCI, so I mean it's pretty intense, but it's not like your giant thrill machine. It is a thrill machine, but I don't know how to explain it. But and then of course we have the kiddie coaster in the Jurassic section as well. And then in the Roman section we have a Mock Rides multi-launch, which is a thrill coaster, but again, it's not very tall, it's not very fast. But it's still considered as a thrill coaster. But this is the section where we're gonna have the most thrilling rides for sure. Because I want there to be sections for everyone. For those thrill seekers, they're going to want to probably come to the Sci-Fi section, because it's going to be that good. So anyways, this is how the building's turned out so far. I think it's turned out really, really nice. We have to add some more lighting effects around the ride for sure. This ride already has some really nice light packages with it, so I like that factor with it. And there's going to be some cool lighting here and there that we're going to be figuring out. I do a little bit here, not a whole lot, just on top of the building to try and get some cool lights. I'm also going to probably be putting some sort of scenery or something on top of the tower as well to get it kind of working in place at the same time. Now this is going to be the exit area that connects with the pathway, and the thing I'm trying to do differently with this pathway is just make the pathways more open. There's going to be pathway everywhere that you're at, kind of like you would see in most parks. And instead of winding around, it's just going to be everywhere. When the only place there's not going to be path is where there's rides, shops, and facilities, and occasionally some scenery areas as well. So it's looking pretty awesome, pretty cool. And you see those holes, I'm going to be putting in some like sci-fi buildings and different things like that. For instance, here we're going to be putting in a Cosmic Cow milkshakes. It's like one of the best themed, best thing to put in this area, obviously. And using the diner set actually works very well from the World's Fair pack. And like I said, it works really well. I don't know what it is, but it looks so sci-fi-ish. I'm going to be adding some more and more stuff as we can. Every single sign I'm going to use has to be lit, though. It has to be lit and just give off a lot of light. Every single building's going to be specially lit, and it's going to look really cool. We're going to see a lot of neon signs within the building as well, which is going to be cool. I'm going to be trying, of course, doing my best to do lots of like backstage areas, as you can see what I'm trying to do right here. And there's also going to be little picnic benches in this area as well, and it works out quite coolly nice, very nice. So there's so much to do. Still, like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna finish the park by the time I want to. Again, I want to have it done between March and May, somewhere around there. If I have to open up later, that is totally okay. We can delay the opening. It happens. And as of right now, I think we're on a pretty good schedule as long as we continue to work on it progressively throughout the next month or so. And because if I want to have it done by March, we're literally down to like the last month right now. So that's kind of a scary thing to think about. But we've gotten so much done this last month or so, so I think we're in a good spot right now. You saw how fast we're blazing through the Roman section. That area is actually probably the most complete out of all the sections, and it took me less episodes than anyone else did before we finally moved on. So it worked okay, and this section we're going to be non-stop working on it for quite some time. because again, dark rides do not take, you know, just a little short amount of time. And I have to say though, I am still getting some really decent frame rate on the game. It's something I haven't talked about. I'm still getting like 30 plus frames a second within the game in this park. Now, once you get guests in there, it's probably gonna plummet down a little bit, but when I do upload to the Steam Workshop, I'll make sure not to have any guests in the park. That way you guys can get the full frame rate experience for that, and because I don't want to have to you know, make that mistake and then everyone open up saying, oh, you already have 6,000 guests in the park. I like seeing a lot of guests in my park, you know, to see how many guests I can get in. That is going to be one test I'm going to do, because this park's going to be so massive with rides and attractions. I'm going to see how many guests are actually going to max out and how many guests we're going to get in this park. My goal is to try to get up to like 20,000 guests in the same park. That's what I want to do. It's going to be very hard, but I think it's actually plausible. I'm not going to save it that way, obviously, for the when we put it in there. But anyways, that's how I kind of want to do it. So this is looking fantastic, though. Like, I'm very hyped. Again, this is not going to look great until a couple episodes in, probably, because we still have a lot of gap filling. Once you create pathways, you create gap filling, which means you have to fill in all the stuff around the path to get it going. So I thought another good opportunity to get into this park, it would definitely be the cube ride. It fits perfectly because it's very sci-fi-ish themed, I feel like, and it's going to be easy to theme that ride up to fit within this area. So I am going to release later on what year these are going to be based off of, so you're going to kind of get an idea of what year you're going to. And the idea, like a little bit more behind the storyline for the park, is that the time machine is a prototype machine, so you're testing, you guys are volunteering to test out the time machine prototype, and it has only 4 locations that it is currently set to be able to go to on the prototype. The final, obviously the final time machine is going to be able to go anywhere, but this prototype only has 4 presets of where it can go. So on this building, I didn't want to do all the roofing just yet, because we want to do all the interior as well. We want to get the interior kind of in a certain spot as well, because before we do the roofing, you want to do some of the interior, that way the roof doesn't get in the way. We are going to start building on the inside of the terrain as well, so it will get dark, which will be kind of cool. We'll be able to do some cool lighting systems inside, but that is, we're going to have to work underground. So, but this front part, we're going to leave kind of open for now until we get a lot of the theming elements within there as well. I'm going to reveal more about this dark ride with each episode, as a lot of people are very anxious or very excited to see what the dark ride is going to be offering. So, or what it's going to be. A lot of people think it's going to be a you know, a roller coaster as well, you know, which is plausible as well, but you never know. I have big plans for this section, and I'm so excited. I hope you guys are excited too, as this is going to be one of my favorite areas, I think, once it's all said and done. We're going to build, again, we're going to build the flat ride underneath the terrain. The flat ride, anyway, the dark ride underneath the terrain, and I don't want it to look like it is inside terrain here, so we're also going to be building around it, and I'm just going to take it one step at a time. So we're going to be theming up the queue line as we go along, all the way up until we get to the station, which will be fantastic. So there's going to be a lot of theming around inside this building, and it's going to be so cool. I don't know if I'm going to have the roof lower or higher, because that'd be a very tall roof for this section, but it would be really cool to do some theming elements inside of that. So it's going to look like a normal building up against the pathway, and it will be it's going to be so cool. And there's a lot of detailing that I do have to still do with this building as well. There's going to be a lot of exterior stuff. So that's going to about do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more amazing content like this. And if you guys want to join the Discord, links down below. The Discord, we have some behind the scenes stuff, and we do a lot of coaster and theme park talks, so it's a lot of fun in there. And I will catch you guys in the next video or live stream. Be sure to follow me on Twitch if you want to watch these episodes live. We do post them live. So anyways, I will catch you guys next time. Have a great day, even cooler tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys, and goodbye.